Welcome to the Kiosk Presents. The Oscar nominations were just released, and here to talk about their movie, Philomena, that they were nominated for screenwriting, is Steve Coogan and Jeff Pope. Welcome to the Kiosk Presents.
Good morning, thanks.
So first of all, congratulations on your nomination for the screenwriting for Philomena.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been an amazing 24 hours since we found out yesterday.
Oh, I can imagine. For our viewers who may not be familiar, what exactly is screenwriting?
What we do is we take the original book and use some of the content of that book to develop it into a storyline that works on screen.
Yeah.
And what brought you to, I believe the title of the book was The Lost Child of Philomena Lee by Martin Sixsmith. What brought you to that book and made you want to take it into a movie?
I read an article in a newspaper 4 years ago about the book, and it piqued my interest. It was a very tragic, moving story of a woman searching for her son, and I thought that would resonate with audiences because everyone has a mother, and people understand that connection very well. Alongside the article was a photograph of Philomena, who Judi Dench plays, and Martin, who I play, and they were laughing in the photograph. And I thought if I could bring some of the humour that was in that picture to this sometimes harrowing story, then we might have a movie.
Mm.
And the story of Philomena was that she was pregnant as a teenager in the 50s and sent to a convent, and her child was adopted to the U.S. And you guys go back to the U.S. to try to find her son.
That's right. Yeah, she. This was back in the 50s, and Ireland was a Catholic country, and having a child out of wedlock, as Philomena did, would have brought terrible shame on her family. So she was packed off to a convent by her family, and she had the child at the convent, and hoped every day that she'd be able to keep the child. You had to stay in the convent for 4 years, but she was getting towards the end of the 4 years, thinking she'd be able to take him home, and then he was sold for adoption and broke her heart.
And it is a heart-wrenching story, but there are so many beautiful moments of levity as well.
Yeah, it was important to us that we used humour so the film wasn't an ordeal for the audience. And the great thing about the way people have been responding to the film is that they cry one moment and then they laugh the next. And it's the juxtaposition, I think, of the tragic and the naturally comical that makes the film special.
As in life, that's what happens in our lives. It's not all one thing.
When you were doing the screenplay, did you have Judi Dench in mind to play the lead as Philomena?
We pretty early in that process. We when we started writing, of course, we batted names around and both agreed that it would be fantastic. When that became a reality, and Steve went to see Judi, and she, as it were, kind of put her hand in. We were then able to, it was very inspiring to have her in mind as we were writing and to shape the screenplay and the character of Philomena, knowing that Judi was going to play her.
I mean, she really does fill the role so well, and she's so great at being able to take you from moments of sadness and such tough moments, and then, bring you to the levity as well.
Yeah, she's at the top of her game. She's sort of blossomed like a flower, really, and at this point in her life she's doing her best work, and it's there's been 50 years of experience on the stage, and a lot of that's come to fruition in this film.
It was very interesting watching her, because the one word that would describe her approach is truth. She searches for the truth in anything, but be it a moment of comedy or obviously a very deep dramatic moment, but it's truth, finding the truth of the moment.
And Steve, you and Judi did have a great chemistry on screen too. It was great to watch you interact with each other.
Well, it was that reflected the truth off screen too. Judi Dench gets a great response from audiences because there's no front there, there's no PR or spin. The person that people see on screen or see in interviews is who she is. She's very authentic, and that comes across in the character she plays too. When the cameras weren't rolling, she liked me to make her laugh, do impersonations, and fool around, have some fun. So we were very relaxed with each other off screen, and that again translates to what you do on screen.
It really did. It is such a great movie. So what do you guys have? I know it was just not announced yesterday. Do you guys have any plans for Oscar night?
To show up.
Yeah. To put on a bow tie. And just try and remember, drink as much of it in as possible. We went to the Globes last weekend, and that was an experience. I'd not experienced anything. I've been to award ceremonies before, but nothing on that scale. And apparently, the Oscars is that by several factors as well. So, can't wait.
Well, Steve Coogan and Jeff Pope, congratulations on your nominations for Philomena. We can't wait to see it all here in Buffalo, New York. Thank you so much for joining us on the Kiosk Presents.
Cheers.